Good morning, everyone. It's Miss Jardine. All right, so we've been working on solving equations. The reason that you need to know how to solve equations is to solve problems. So we're going to go ahead and start applying what we've been learning to solving a real problem. So we're going to go through 3 practice problems together. Write and solve an equation. So we've got 2 things to do. We've got to write the equation and we've got to solve the equation. Your parents give you $20 to help buy a new pair of shoes that costs $59.95. After you buy the shoes, you have $5.50 left. Write and solve an equation to find how much money you had before your parents gave you $20. So something that we're going to start expecting is that we are going to define the variable like we would define a word in the dictionary. We can also define variables to let people understand what they stand for. So the variable is going to come from the question being asked. Write and solve an equation to find how much money you had before your parents gave you $20. That's what we're trying to figure out. So when we define a variable, we always start with the word let. And I'm going to use the variable S for starting amount. We want to know how much money I had before my parents gave me any money. All right, so the first one we've really broken down for you to help you figure out where you're going to put your terms in your equation. So the first thing we're looking for is the starting amount. Your parents gave you $20 to help you buy a new pair of shoes that cost $59.95. Now remember, the starting amount is what we don't know. That's our variable. So that's going to be our S. To that, we're going to add the amount that our parents gave us. Your parents gave you $20. So that's going to be plus 20. But then you went to the store and you gave the clerk some money for your new shoes. So then we're going to subtract the cost of the shoes. The cost of the shoes was $59.95. Anytime you see the word is in an expression, which is right here, is always where the equal sign is going to come in your equation. And the amount left, we had $5.50 left. All right, so now we're going to use everything that we've learned about how to solve an equation. And we know that we need to find the value of S. That's what we're trying to solve for right here. How much money did we have to start? In order to do that, I have to get rid of everything else on the left side of my equal sign. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my negative. And remember, the opposite or the inverse operation is adding. So over here, I'm going to add $59.95. That's a plus. All right, so I'm going to drop my decimal down. 0 plus 5. 9 plus 5 is 14. 1 and 9 is 10, plus 5 is 15. Okay, so the negative $59.95 and the positive $59.95 cancels. So now I have the amount of money that I started with plus the $20 that my parents gave me was equal to $65.45. But we still don't have our S isolated. We have to get the S all by itself. We still have something with the S to get rid of. So the inverse operation of addition is subtraction. So now I'm going to subtract $20 from both sides. My positive 20 and negative 20 are going to cancel. Now all I have left is the amount of money that I started with. And I'm going to subtract. And we always put a box around our solution. Now I know that I already had $45.45 before my parents gave me the money. So now what we're going to do is we're going to check it. Does all of this make sense? If I had $45.45 and then my parents gave me $20, so then I had $65.45. And then if I spent $59.95 on my shoes, what was my change? So 5 minus 5, sorry. 5 minus 5 is 0. 14 minus 9 is 5. And 64 minus 59 is 5. Check. So all of that works out. Number 2, you eat 8 blueberries and your friend eats 11 blueberries from a package. There are 23 blueberries left. Write and solve an equation to find the number of blueberries in a full package. So remember, first we have to define the variable, and that comes from what the question is asking. To find the number of blueberries in a full package. So we always start with the word let. Since we're talking about blueberries, I'm going to use the variable b. Let b equal blueberries in full package. All right, so I know if I'm writing an equation, I have to have an equal sign. So I'm going to go ahead and put my equal sign here. Now, typically when you're writing an equation, most of the time, the biggest number or the total amount is going to go on the right-hand side. The biggest number that I see here is that there were 23 blueberries left. So I started with a full package of blueberries. I had 8. My friend had 11, and there were 23 blueberries left. How many blueberries were there in the package to start? So this is what we're trying to figure out. In order to solve for that, we have to get rid of the -8 and the -11. So remember, we have to do the inverse operation. So first, I'm going to add 11 to both sides. My -11 and +11 cancel. So now b minus 8 equals 34. We still have not solved for b because I still have a -8 with the b. The opposite of -8 is +8. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. b equals 42. Now, let's check that and see if that's true. If there were 42 blueberries in the package, I had 8. Let's see what 42 minus 8 is. That takes us down to 34 blueberries. Then my friend ate 11. Yep, that takes us to the 23 that we had left over. All right, we're just going to do one more together. Number 3, you and your friends buy tickets to a baseball game. The total cost is $70. Write and solve an equation to find the cost of each ticket. Remember, the first thing that you want to identify when you're writing an equation is what you're trying to find. Write and solve an equation to find the cost of each ticket. That is what I need to define as my variable. When you define a variable, you always start with the word let. Since we're talking about cost, I'm going to use the variable c. Let c equal cost of each ticket. You're restating exactly what was asked of you in the question. If I'm writing an equation, I know I need an equal sign in the middle. So let's look carefully what this says. You and 4 friends. Well, I'm a person, and means plus 4 friends. Oh, so there's 5 of us splitting the cost. You and 4 friends buy tickets to a baseball game. The total cost is $70. Write and solve an equation to find the cost of each ticket. Remember I said in the previous problem that almost always when you're writing an equation, the biggest number that you see in the problem is going to go on the right-hand side, the total cost or the biggest number, usually. So there were 5 people, and we multiplied an unknown cost of each ticket times 5 to get a total of $70. So now this equation is asking 5 times what equals 70. So remember, the opposite of multiplying by 5 is dividing by 5. So we have to divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 cancels. All I have left is my C. Now I'm going to slide over here and do some math. 70 divided by 5. All right, so now I have determined the cost equaled $14. $14 per ticket. So let's check our math and make sure that that works. Is 14 times 5 equal to 70? Yes. All right, make sure to hop on Zoom or email your teacher today if you need any help. Have a good day, everybody.